This is a time that I gave someone an ultimatum in my life. So I had just graduated with my master's. I had been with my boyfriend for 5 years. 5 years. So after the third year, I'm like, when are we getting married? What's popping? What he said was that he wanted to be able to provide a home for me as his wife, just like the dudes on the ultimatum is saying. He's like, I don't have the coin right now. I don't have the money. I want to be able to provide, and I can't do that. And me, just like the women on the ultimatum, I was like 24, 25. And I'm like, I got a master's degree. I can buy my own house. I just want to get married. I wasn't listening to him. He wasn't listening to me. So what I said to him after 5 years, in my mind, I've been waiting for this ring. I said, if you don't propose to me, I'm moving to Las Vegas, period. Can you see how that's an ultimatum and that's not a boundary? I pushed him into a corner and I said, listen, propose or I'm out. After I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. And so we went through 3 months of like chicken, where I had no friends in Vegas, no family in Vegas. I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. I had no job. I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me. For 3 months, he was like, do what you got to do. You want to move, move. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car. And we putting stuff in the trunk, and I just started crying. I'm like, you really going to let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
Listen, yo, these are facts, folks. These are facts. As much as ladies be like, we got history. I got my master's degree. I ain't got no job, though. I don't know nobody, but I got my education. I got my education with a master's degree. Fellas, don't ever let a woman, even though I get it, it's 5 years. She's at a point where she's like, I just want to get married. I can buy my own house, even though she didn't have a job. Don't ever let somebody force you to do something that you don't want to do it. On the flip side of it, don't stay with a woman if you know her intentions are to get married and you just saying you want her to wait, and she's not on that type of time where you want to stay with her and wait till you make enough money. Then yeah, you guys are just going to have to split and separate. But she can't pressurize you. But this is a man who stood on business, who was centered, regardless of the 5 years he had with you. He felt like it was something worth losing. At the end of the day, if that's something you want to get up and go and break up this situation we got going on, then baby, by all means, you got to beat it. You got to go for what you know. I'm not going to stop you. I will help you pack. And women will do that, fellas. You got to make a woman live all that stuff that she's talking about. If a woman tells you she loves you or she wants you more than anything else, baby, you got to show me, baby. I always say, you got to show me. You got to show me something. Let me see something. You can't just be saying all this stuff, because women will do some stuff to try and punk you, to try and see where you stand. These ish tests to challenge your masculinity. Now she got to live all this stuff in terms of taking your ass to Vegas and see what's waiting for you out in Vegas. Otherwise, you got this security with me, other than I didn't give you a ring. That's not it, though, guys. She did a follow-up video to this, and we'll see how this ends. So let's get into it. Let's go.
Y'all, so we are at the car. He just told me to have a safe trip. I am crying. I am crying, crying, crying. But I bossed up in that moment, and I got in the car and I left. And I drove for 4 days and 3 nights to Las Vegas. Every single night he called me to see how I was doing. He told me he was really worried about me. He never asked me to come back. I get to Las Vegas. I have no money. I have no job. I have no friends. But I said I'm going to make it work. So I moved into the Motel 6 right across the street from the MGM Grand on the Las Vegas Strip. I was there for a couple days. I met a roommate, moved in with her. The rest is history. That was 18 years ago. 18 years ago. I cannot wait to tell you how he and I interact now and what that was like. Okay, y'all, here is the grand finale. So in 18 years, right now today, he is not married. He does not have any children. I never want to get married again, and I do not have any children. He and I are best friends. We have apologized to each other. We apologized to each other years ago, not for the choices that we made, but for the way we handled each other. I was very controlling and very manipulative, and I apologized to him because you don't treat people you love that way. He apologized to me for being so cold and so callous. And he also admitted that he really loved me. He didn't want to be pushed in a corner. And I get that. We love each other now. We talk all the time. And the lesson that I learned is that this is my life and no one is responsible for my choices but for me. My life in Vegas was lit. Pool parties, DJ booths. I'm on TV here. It's lit. His life was lit too. It wasn't meant to be, but it doesn't mean I don't love him and that he doesn't love me.
So a journey into finding out what it is that you really like, a journey into what it sounds like. You got your cheeks clapped and you had a good time wilding out there in Vegas. But some things just aren't meant, and men definitely don't like ultimatums. One of the quickest ways, especially when a man isn't dependent on you, is to give him an ultimatum and say, you need to do this, this, and this. If you don't do this, I'm going to go. Buddy stood. That's masculinity. And that's security, knowing that, hey, this woman isn't going to tell me what I need to do, and I'm going to end up marrying her, being unhappy and not being in a situation where I'm able to provide and she holding that against me, because that behavior is going to go on into the marriage. And he already saw that. I don't know what the age difference was with them, but it looks like he ended up doing pretty well. Even if you can say, did he have himself together by now? What do you mean have himself together by now? It just wasn't at that point where he was in a position to take care of a family. Doesn't mean he didn't have himself together, just not for a family. So everybody's on their journey. You're on your journey and it may not coincide with theirs, and that just creates something else. Everybody's not meant to go with you everywhere. And sometimes you know in your heart, you just have to keep it moving. Some people are just so insecure, they're afraid to be alone. They're afraid to be by themselves. They're afraid to take that leap or take that step to that next level, which could mean true happiness for yourself and you actually discovering yourself. It's for those who try to hold others back in those endeavors where there's a problem. And for those of you who don't know, if you guys want to follow her, her name is Aisha or Aishia Grebenberg. And she is a psychotherapist, relationship coach. You can find her on TikTok, and I'll link it below where you guys can check out her videos. And she seems to be commenting on a lot of stuff, living her best life, 46 years old, whatever it is she is at this point. And that's just that. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about all these clips? Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings in abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. Let's run it up to 1 million. I'm the best. Quit playing with me. Peace.
Yeah. 50 Cent. 50. Part 2. Bring it back. Yeah. Can't forget Tony. 50. Can't forget Tony. 50.